Outside life, inside
Yeah, right.
I can relate that to you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah.
people have made use of it.
Mm.
Sir, I have a question for you.
Yes, Shastriji.
Uh, do you want us to shut the cameras off or do you want us to keep the cameras on?
Keep the cameras on. Yeah, please.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that I would love to see.
Mm.
Yeah. Okay. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So Dharma, the first pillar of Dharma that what is in is the uh, Nyaya, which is supposed to be the ethics. We need to have ethics in the life. And what are the importance of ethics? And I said that ethics has to come from within. After that, what I said is that Dharma rises so much higher than the ethics. And there are people who set standards for Dharma in the society, which is supposed to be so high in the ethics level. When they set up that one, then following the ethics becomes easy for us because they're role models. And some people can even follow the role models of Dharma and then they can become Dharmatma. These are the things that we have seen. How that ethics and beyond that ethics. That's what we have seen. Lakshmana shows the ethics. Rama says that Dharma is something which is extraordinary. So this is one aspect we have seen. The second aspect which holds this Dharma Dharayati, that which holds, is supposed to be Satya. Because the simple thing is, Satya is original, Satya is natural. Satya is behind anything. And that is something which exists. Untruth does not exist. Yes, truth is that which exists. And yes, we say that the people say that this is Satya is only that is which is eternal. Eternal Satya, non-eternal Satya can be there. It doesn't matter. At that point of time, at this moment, that is Satya, but it is not eternal. Our people have given two different names for that. And one eternal Satya, they called it as Ritam, and which is temporal Satya, local Satya, they call it as Satya. And both these things are necessary in the society. That's why he said, Satyam Vadishyami, Ritam Vadishyami. These are the two sides. And same way, Taittiriya Upanishad also puts it that way. On one side is Satya, Satyam Uttara Paksha, and Ritam Dakshina Paksha, Satyam Uttara Paksha. Both these things are there for us to survive, continue in this society. Because of these things are only that's what the society is. And we have also seen the depth of Satya, that it has to come from not only just expression on the outside, but even the Sankalpa level Satya. From there, if you have the same common thread from Sankalpa all the way up to the level of Karya, that's why we have Satya Yuga, Krita Yuga, which is supposed to be the foundation for the whole culture. That's why people said that Dharma was on four padas at that point of time, the Satya Yuga. That means all the four padas, which are supposed to be Sankalpa, then Manasa, Vacha, Karmana. When these things are there, then there is a unism. That means to say, absolutely there is no difference between the unmanifest Brahman and the manifest Brahman. Just from there, it has come. There is no difference between these two. Karya Brahma, Karana Brahma, there is no difference. It's one and the same thing. It's its extension itself. Imagine a society where that kind of an extension from Brahman it is there. How beautiful it has been. And there is nothing which can shake it. That's why we had the longest Satya Yuga. Then Chuti happened at one level. Then 3 padas were there. Treta Yuga. 2 padas were Dwapara Yuga. Now at least 1 pada that is there, which is supposed to be karma, kriti. So that's what is Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is very feeble, on one thread it is standing. And if this also fails, then there is nothing which can hold the society. But Dharma still will be there. Dharma, nothing can happen. Only thing is the society will again hold back to Dharma to re-establish its existence. And that it holds back right from the Sankalpa all the way up to the Kriti. Therefore, again, Satya Yuga is re-established. So this is a cycle that goes on. We always start in terms of cycle. So it continues this way. So this is what is the second aspect of Dharma. And that's what is holding it together. And this is what is Satya. And now we need to bring it in our day-to-day life, this Satya. How deeply we can bring it into our day-to-day life, we have seen examples of rishis, examples of Yudhishthira. Mahabharata example is so beautiful that Satya, he holds it in such a way that when this training was going on at Drona's place, and then Drona talks about yoga and he says about Satya, Yudhishthira, I hear that, and then next day he said, okay, let's go to the next step. Yudhishthira said, no, continue with Satya. I would like to know something more. Said, what is this? Yudhishthira is an intelligent person. In fact, half a sentence he will always understand it. And now he wants to, once again, more. He repeated, so many ideas, so many new ideas, but he is not satisfied. Everybody is almost stunned. Why he is taking such a long time? But Drona knew that how deeply Yudhishthira is connected with that Satya. Finally, at one point of time, he said, okay, now I understood what is Satya, let's proceed further. This stayed in the mind of Drona forever in such a way that in the battlefield, this happened when they are student group. And then the battlefield, suddenly there was a rogue elephant. The name of the rogue element was basically Ashwathama. The name Ashwathama came because it is 1,000 elephants together, 1,000 horses together, therefore it is Ashwathama. It has nothing to do with Ashwathama. But then the name of that rogue elephant was Ashwathama. It became rogue, so it was creating a problem. How to get rid of this menace, because the war has to continue, then why don't you send Bhima to take care of it? So Bhima goes and removes all those things and the commotion stopped. When the commotion stopped, then, Yudhishthira asked, so what happened? Ashwathama died. Oh, okay, Ashwathama died. So let's continue the war. This went into the ears of Drona. Drona mistook it to be his son. And then Drona is connected with that idea that his son is not there, so he will not there. So he just gave up. And that was a good moment that Drona could be eliminated. People say that there's a plan test, but whatever it is. But what happened is that Drona has to be eliminated so that war has to continue. So therefore that war continued. But look at the way that how Satya has been practiced in such a way, so deep into the system it went into. That's what Patanjali says. It is not that Satya that we do it. That means you say for an hour, 2 hours, like asana I do for 1 hour, so pranayama I do for 2 hours. Same way, Satya I practice 1 hour in a day, ahimsa I practice 2 hours in a day. That's not. It should be the foundation. So that means that's what Patanjali says. Satya Pratishtha. You have to be established in Satya. Then only you can go forward. So there are certain sutras of Patanjali Ashtanga Yoga, which are supposed to be the sutras which are base, foundation. On top of it, the superstructure you can conduct. Superstructure can be limited, but then foundation should be all the time there. So that's why Satya Pratisthaya. That's what Patanjali gives us. So you have to be established in Satya, you have to follow that Satya. That is the importance of Satya about this. Why he said that? Because Satya is the base for the whole thing. Satya and Dharma, they are the 2 bases. In fact, one of the important form of Dharma is Satya. That's why Satya has to be based even for our yoga also. That is such an important thing. How many people really are committed to Satya when they practice yoga? How horrible it is. That means, are they really practicing yoga? See, that's the reason why they said that don't make this yoga universal. So that what happens is people take the other steps and then easy steps and then go ahead. What is the basis that they forget about the whole? So that is the importance of Satya. Satya is the second important aspect of the nature. Why I said that it is impact of the dharma is like the way that Rutam is the way that the fire burning is the Rutam. The same way Satya is almost like Rutam. So therefore that they are together. It is right from the creation Satya is there. Very important fact is that the other things do not exist. That's why they are asatya. If it exists, it is not asatya. Satya alone exists. So that means going to Satya means that what exists that we are going to. Asatya that doesn't exist. And another thing is Satya is consistent. Asatya is not consistent. Satya today you say, tomorrow you say, any day you wake up in the middle of the night, you ask, the same Satya is there. It will not change. But asatya, it is not consistent. Today I said some asatya, and tomorrow I say something else, and yesterday you said like that. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot yesterday what I said, therefore I said this today. Tomorrow it is something else. So it's not consistent itself. That's why it is said that asatya is like a liar. The liars are like this, that he can support you, he can support your enemy also. But whoever the client comes first, that he will give argument according to that. So therefore, it depends upon who pays more. You would have argued your argument for your case for such a long time. Suddenly, one day he changes his argument and says that, my lord, this what is wrong about this. He said, what did you do? I said, that person paid more than you paid. So the simple thing is that it's not, asatya is not consistent. Asatya is also, when you have to put these things in asatya, you have to make it very complicated also, flowery language and all those things. Satya doesn't require any flowery language. Asatya requires all the flowery language. In fact, that's why most of the subject there is the flowery language. Like, the Mullah Nasruddin is a simple fellow, and he went to the court and his lawyer was there, argued, and the judge gives the final judgment saying that the accused is not actually the culprit and he's acquitted, and therefore all these things he talks in the marriage in the lawyer's language, accused, acquitted, and is not found guilty, all these things. Mullah is a simple fellow, he doesn't understand all those things. So finally, after the judgment is over, Mullah says to the judge, Judge Saab, so I didn't understand what all you said, but what I ever understood, let me want to clarify it. So finally, the jewelry I stole has not to give back. No, I don't have to give it back. You tell me, simple language. So asatya becomes very complex and complicated. Satya becomes simple. So if anybody is talking in a language, the moment that you see that it has got all that flowers and and in these days I hear TV talk, they say jalebi going around, and see that means it's not truth. It's far from the truth. That's what is there. Is lifetime. So therefore, essentially hold on to the Satya, which is original, which is there, existing. So why should we not tell Satya? Satya is the one which holds the society, which holds the society for eternity. That's why one of the important factors of Dharma, Dharaiti Dharma, is the Satya. That's why we always put these two things together. Satya Dharmaya Drishtai. In Kathopanishad, that the prayer that we say that Satya Dharmaya Drishtai, it is something which comes like that. So, in fact, Rama also, he says that I follow the Satya. That's what he says. Satya is my tool. That's what he says about that in Ramayana. So second important tool for Dharma is Satya. Third important tool for Dharma is Dana. Charity, giving. This is something which is very important. In the nature itself, the property of giving is the one which holds its nature. Look at whole nature, everything is giving. And the same way, we have seen Dharmatma. In fact, our own feeling that somebody is Dharmatma because he is giving. He gives. He gives out of the way. That's why these are extraordinary, wonderful people. One such beautiful example is that of Karna. See, why we have to take these examples are that these were the living people, they lived these values, and they become the role model for us. Whatever that Karna has done, even if we do 10% of it, we feel really satisfied. We are holding that particular dharma in us. And Karna is like that. There are 2, 3 incidents which show that how extraordinarily that Karna practiced this dharma called as dana. That's why his name, like the way that Satya Harishchandra said, Dana Shura Karna. So his name is prefixed with the Dana. That's what is important. Dana means charity. Give. You ask, you give. And we have such examples. And the examples are not only in fact, Karna is also in the Kaurava side. He is not on the Pandava side. The same way that we have in Danavas also, in the Rakshasas, we have the examples of the people who have given it. Like, for example, Bali Chakravarti. Who can equate Bali Chakravarti? And in fact, that Dana can be so extraordinary, the way that Bali Chakravarti has done, it really opens our eyes. That's what is Dana. And there's another king who gave that particular Dana. That's what is Shibi Chakravarti. Shibi did not even think twice. When the bird came and said that I'm hungry, and the little bird comes and says that give me protection. Shibi says, okay, protect. I'm protected because you are the king and I'm the bird in your kingdom. I'm protected. Yeah, I'll protect. But what's your problem? He says this bird is chasing me. Eagle comes and chases me. And then eagle comes and says, and then I'm hungry. And this is my food. Unless until you give my food, I will die. Now you see, he's caught up between these 2 things. He said, you need food, no flesh, no. Okay, take my flesh. He just took out his flesh from his thigh, gives it to him. Then they come out and say that actually we are testing how not only giving, but how readily you are giving. Readily we are giving. We think twice, we do this, we do that. And giving also that we will practice so much of cheating in that. And that's what we have such examples where he almost like giving, but at the same time he is saving. And that's what is, you can see that this Vishwasi Yaga that he does, this Nachiketa's father. See, he does the yaga and he was supposed to give away all that, whatever his possession. But then he is giving the cows which are do not have any energy at all. They can't drink anymore. They can't eat anything. They don't have any tea. And such cows are given. See, cow is given as a treasure, as a wealth to you. But a cow in that state is a liability. It's no more a asset for you. And the Brahmins are taking that. See, who are you cheating? You are cheating yourself. What such a great person. And also, what is that yaga that he is doing? Vishwajit yaga. That means he wants to conquer the whole world, and this he cannot give it. How can you get that Vishwajit yaga? Nobody can understand the dichotomy there, excepting an innocent mind like Prahlada. I mean, Nachiketa. Therefore, Nachiketa says, what is this? You are giving all these things which are already like that. He feels so sad. That's what when he goes to Yama, he says that my father is doing like this. I feel so bad about it. Can you please grant him some good life? He requests it. So that is the kind of thing Dana is doing, but Dana he is doing with that. Who are you cheating? You can cheat the whole world, but you cannot cheat yourself. Because that he was cheating himself. When the son goes and asks father that what is this you are giving? Who are you giving? Me. Because whatever your stuff is your. He was really guilt. The son, particularly when the son asked the question to the father, can imagine what must be the insult the father must be feeling. That's why he got so mad. He said, get lost. And then he went to Yama. All that story started. But moral of this story is that you do something wrong about giving, you will be the first person to feel guilt about it. Therefore, dana is something which is so important, so extraordinary. Give it. Without even thinking that you give it. Don't think back. That's what we have the example of Karna. See, Karna was born to sun god. So naturally, sun god has given, sun god power that he was born to Kunti. And when he was born with the Kavacha and the Kundalas. The Kundalas, you see, sun, you can't even look at sun directly. Your eyes are dazzled, blinded. If sun has given that Kundalas, what must be the Kundalas like? That means to say, Karna's face you can't see in the battlefield. So anybody he battles with, Karna is sure to win. It's a protection for him. It's not just simple Kundala. It protects him from the vision. Yeah, the car that when you are going opposite direction, another car comes with a big light, you can't even see. And here he is, the battlefield is doing like that. You can't even see what is the Karna's face. So Kundalas are protection. Added to that, he had that shield. The shield also such a big protection in the warfield. And then he is born to Ganga, so therefore Ganga has given special water to him, so that was there inside him. I mean, it could be that he has put it in the Ganga. So that also is there. So everything is protection for him. But look at the cunning way that Indra, he plans a whole vicious plan. And then Karna is going to the battlefield, and unfortunately Shalya was his driver, charioteer. And then Shalya, Karna hears somebody shouting from behind, Bhiksha, Bhavate Bhiksha, Bhavata. Then he says, somebody is calling you, hey Karna, please give me Bhiksha. Then he says that somebody is shouting. He looks around, he did not see the battlefield. Then Karna says, it's a battlefield, nobody is looking for me. I think that you have heard wrong. So let's go ahead. He's about to start, but then Shalya says, no, I still hear somebody shouting for your name. So I think it's better to wait. Ready to go for what? And then he waited, and then the Brahmana is coming running from behind. Said that Brahmana is coming. So we'll wait. Then Karna says, okay, we'll wait for the Brahmana to come. Brahmana comes and says that Bhiksha I want, Dana. Karna says, if you come to my kingdom, I can give anything. At least in my tent, I can give you something. I'm running to the battle. I don't have anything other than the bows and arrows in front of me. And why are you coming here? Please, come in the evening, my tent. No, I want to ask you right, it's here itself. But I don't have anything to give. Said, but you still have something to give. Karna's readiness is, if I have something to give, please ask. Don't give. Then he says, give me your kundalas. Immediately, this Shalya knows about that. Shalya says, my dear Karna, this fellow has come to cheat you. And it's none other than Indra. And he's doing that for the sake of his own son. And that's what is Arjuna. Karna knows about it. In spite of it, Karna says, forget about it. He's asking for, and I do that. Kundala, ready? That's all you have asked. You see, Kshatriya, he has confidence in his strength. All the other things are only attachments. But his strength is his confidence. That's what Karna shows. Okay, I'll fight the war. I have the power. I can defeat anybody. Therefore, take the kundalas. And the Brahmin says, you are a Kshatriya, I'm a Brahmin. Don't give this kundalas just like that. Wash it and then in a plate and then in a vessel with the water, you have to wash it and give it. Then Karna says, where is the battlefield? Where can I get water? Where can I get a vessel? There's nothing like that and I'm rushing for the war. No, you have all those things. Where? They said, your kavacha is there. Use that kavacha. And then take the Ganga water that's there inside you and do the proportion of it and give it to me. What's more sacred than that? Karna knows now who is it is. Clear. Then he says, and okay, I'm so sorry. Because the fellow who is asking knows about all this. So he says, okay, I'll give it. I gave it. And then the Brahmana says, okay, I can give you. See, you gave me all these things. Thank you so much. If you want, you can ask me something. Then Karna says, I know that you are Indra. This one thing is satisfying for me. Indra himself came down to me, ask for a dana. What else that I want? Now I can give up my life. I don't think. Dana, even at that level, that what it is. That's what it is. I don't know whether I said Dana about Bali Chakravarti. See, he was a very great, but Danava. And he had a great character of Dana, giving. Ask anything, he would give. But why? What was the problem? If it is an extraordinary, wonderful quality, it would have been wise. It would have been nice. Anybody who is doing that is always welcome. So doing the great work like Dana. But then what happened in the case of Bali Chakravarti was his Dana itself has become like his arrogance. You see, a godly divine quality is fine. A quality of the divinity that is there, if itself becomes the arrogance, then that's a problem. So that cannot survive. So that's the reason why he did not want to eliminate Bali, but at the same time, he had to be sent to a level where he deserves. That's the reason why Vamana comes into the picture. Like a small little puny Brahmin boy, he comes there and then says, what can I offer you? He says, I am a simple Brahmin boy, what else can I want? I want a very small little simple things. What is that? 3 steps. That's all you give. That's all. Yes. You can ask anything. If I want, I can ask anything, but otherwise I don't want anything. That's what I. Just his guru, Shukracharya, knew about it. So this is a problem then. And then he alerts Bali Chakravarti, this is not going to work because this is bad. Because he's come somebody to cheat you. But see, the commitment for the dana is so much that let anybody do anything. But dana is something which is important. I cannot leave that. That's what the dharma. Hold on to the dharma called dana. So I do it. And then in order to give that dana, that he has to take the water from the kamandu and with the mantra ucharna that he has to do the moksha. And the Shukracharya knew that this is what's going to happen, entered into the kamandalu and stopped that particular flow there. And this Vamana is very intelligent. It took a dharma, and then Shukracharya asked, what are his eyes? What has to happen, happen. Then Shukracharya realized that. Okay. Then his place is in the other world. So therefore, actually, then he says, okay, 3 steps I give you. First, he became so big, whole earth is covering. I said, where did I put the second? I said, sky is there. So Antariksha, that he put the whole, covered all the stars, all the planets, everything. And he says, I took both these things. Now there is nothing else. Where do I put my 3rd step? Then Bali said, put it on my head. Putting the leg of Vamana on the head of Bali is an indication of subduing his ego. Head is ego. And then he put his foot on the head, pressed him down, said, you be there safe. He did not eliminate Bali. Bali is an extraordinarily wonderful, great king, but he has to be at that level. So this is the idea that dana is held such a high, extraordinary level. So dana is so important. Dana is then which survives the society, they survive it. Not only that, dana is the feature of this whole society itself. Look at the way that in the whole society, when the whole creation, giving is something which is there in the whole nature. In the nature, when you look at it, everything is giving. Like a plant grows big enough, immediately it gives its flowers for the nature, for the society. And the flowers, when they become full, the bud become a flower, then they spread the fragrance everywhere, give it. Nothing asked in return. They don't take anything, but they give it. They don't ask for anything. What do you give? You can give a glass of water or some little manure, but the fragrance that they give is so extraordinary. Not only that, flowers, they dye themselves to give you fruits. And the fruits are so wonderful, so tasty. Invite every creature on this earth so that everything is giving. in the nature itself is in the form of giving. Actually, that's what is the yajna. Yajna is where you give and give and give. So this is what basically sustains this nature. Dana is the one which sustains the dharma. Like the way that ethics is that which sustains dharma. Similarly, this satya sustains dharma. The third important factor that sustains dharma is dana. So we have such examples where they are given the dana so profusely that we are given. Seen the example of Karna, we've seen the example of Bali, we have seen example how they have given it. And not only that they have given, you see the whole nature is giving. Giving, giving, giving. Giving is the way. An earthworm, it's such a insignificant creature. But for the life that is given, it made that earth fertile. Gives an air bubble, a soap bubble. Nothing is inside, nothing is outside. But that small life that it lived, it gives such a nice, wonderful joy for us. Children run for that bubbles so that it reflects, maintain the shape of the soap bubble. All those things happen within that short time. And nothing is there, nothing is inside. If everything is giving like that, why not human being also practice that? So that we sustain this particular nature of the Sanatana Dharma. Right from the beginning, is dana is a part of the Sanatana Dharma. So, in fact, that's why we have the Upanishad mantras. We say that, oh God, give me that ability. Give me that ability, simple ability, that you see that I give much more than I take. Jivane yavada danam syat syat pradhanam tatodhikam tataha adhikam. Give much more than yavat adana. If I take 1 rupee from you, I give you 10 rupees. Give me that ability to give more than what I take. A simple prayer. He doesn't say how much you give me, how much you do. No, give me a simple ability that I take 1 rupee, I give you 10 rupees. This is a simple thing. Jivane yavadada, chat pradhanam tatodikam. Ityesha pradhana asmakam. That's the only pradhana for me. I don't have any other pradhana. Esham, esha. Ityesha pradhana asmakam. Bhagavan paripuryatam. You fulfill that. That's all. What a beautiful thing. Today also I was telling somebody that he says that it's not the question of, he says that I'm used to the luxury way of life. You see, doesn't even luxury way of living. So I have luxury items and all that for marriage. I said, don't even think of that way, because he's from a big company has come. Big means not ordinary. Fortune 500. So that person is saying, I said, that's not the idea. That a simple rule that Sadhvi Ritapara gave very beautiful. He said, you have the material, what you use, you are the master of that. And you have material, what you don't use it, more than that you have it, you are a watchman for that. So do you want to be a watchman? You keep all those things, I don't mind it. So that's a simple idea. Luxury, if you are using it, it's no more a luxury because it's useful for you. I said, but a servant lives in, he's used to a different way of life. For him, there is necessities. And then more than necessities that he will not have it. For him, whatever that is necessity, you can't measure your necessities from his standard because you are in a different standard. Society has different standards. And we never get judged that. In fact, so beautifully said, like the house lady, the wealthy family, he purchases a jewelry which is worth 10 lakhs of rupees, special jewelry, this, that, and all that. And then the day when she is born, she comes home and then she shows everybody. Even the servants look at that jewelry. Wow, beautiful jewelry and all those things. See, and not only that, the servants feel joy of that jewelry. They go to the next door neighbor's servant. He says that, my mom, my madam, has jewelry. You know what it is? 10 lakhs rupees worth of jewelry. You take pride of that. You don't feel jealous of it because they're different. Whereas the same thing, next door neighbor's servant, he buys some 100 rupees sari more than what you have it. Now you feel jealous of it. You see, At your standard, you feel the. So that means to say, you have those things, but you give what you can give, you give. I don't want you to reduce the standard because the society needs the standards. And I was also giving that example how this society, like, in this society, there are certain extraordinary, wonderful norms that were there. A king's luxurious life, it's not king's life. It is for the sake of the nation that he has to live like that. It's a pride of the nation. The pride of the nation. So he has to have it. That happened in Mysore, in Karnataka. When Kannabadi Dam was to be built, then Nalvadi Krishnadevara, he didn't have money. Then the queen said, I will sell all my jewelry so that we can build the dam. The businessmen from Bangalore, they went rushing there and said, no, your jewelry is not your jewelry, God. Just sell it for the sake of that. Because your jewelry is our pride. And dam, you want water, you want money, we will all subscribe and then make the dam possible. That's what is the history of Kannabadi Dam.
What did say that one of the
No? This, our Brahmin, they held it tight. Because it's not your jewelry. The same thing happened in the case of Rana Pratap. Rana Pratap wanted to build this Udaipur with a new design and all those things. Udaipur is a very special thing. Then all the business from various places, like, in Rajasthan, Bundi, etc., all those places, they put the money and they built that Udaipur. And he promised that in 5 years, I develop the wealth of this particular Udaipur in such a way that I'll repay you also. That he did it. So that means to say, basically, dana is something which we had very clear, open arms about that, giving that. So therefore, dana is that which survived this particular culture. The third important pillar of this particular culture is dana. And this another very important, because the nature itself is doing dana all the time, giving. And this we also have, and that's what is the richness. Richness is what you have. Richness is what you give. That's what is the richness. In fact, that's what in Yaksha Prashna also, Yaksha asked this question to Yudhishthira. Please give me an answer, who is rich? And you can't think of it, you don't have calculator to do all those things. How much money you should have, how many buildings that you have, nothing. Or how much money that you should have under your bed, in the walls, in the and in this only the washing machine also. Because the money has to be washed, black money to white money and all that. So nothing like that. You have to give quickly. And then Yudhishthira gives a quick answer saying that who can give is rich. You can't improve that definition. In fact, there was one saint by name Ram Tirtha. Actually, he was a mathematics professor in Peshawar College, and he later on heard Vivekananda when Vivekananda gave a talk in his college, and then he took the sannyasa, became Swami Ram Tirtha. He didn't have anything. And then he went to America. He always used to call himself as Ram Badshah, emperor. Then somebody asked, you don't have anything, why do you call yourself emperor? He said, that's why I'm emperor. Because if I had anything, I could have given it. No, if I don't have anything, that means everything is mine. Everything is mine. What is not mine? When I'm hungry, you feed me. When I have to travel, you paid me. So where is the question of any problem? And that's why he's called it as Ram. That's why when he has written his book, Ram Badshah Hukumnama, he is a Hukumnama means my aphorisms. Right. So he was very joyful, jolly guy. So he used to do like that. So this is what is the idea. Dana will make you rich. The one who feels that dana is making rich, then who will not do dana? So that is the idea. So these are the various components of this particular dharma. Now, there is another subtle component that is there behind the dana, which is also equally important potential component. Often these things are mixed. That means you do not look at them purely. One is called as Tyaga and the other is Dana. These are two different components. Normally, we mix them up. And Upanishad says very clearly, na karmana na praja dhanena tyagena ki amrutatva marsha. Tyaga is important. And of course, this is very explicitly as given, tyagena ki, but implicitly that means little more twist, but extraordinary powerful mantra, Upanishad mantra, which talks about Tyaga, is also another beautiful mantra, but it gives a very deep insight into that. And that's what is the Ishavasya mantra. The very first mantra itself gives us about Tyaga, saying that Ishavasyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena punchita tyaga bhavena punchita magrada kasya swithana. I mean, how Upanishad sages put these things in such beautiful twist. It's extraordinary. In fact, very first sentence we say, Ishavasyamidam sarvam. That itself means tyagena, tyaga, tena tyaktena. Because basically it is not yours. It's all Ishavasyam, Achadaniyam. It's all belong to God. Doesn't belong to you. That, I mean, nothing is mine. Yeah, nothing is yours. Nothing belongs to you. But we say all these things belong to us. You put the label, therefore you say it belongs to you. It's like the way that particularly these days, in the bus travel, I heard that, women have a free ticket in the bus. So therefore, men put a kerchief into the window. It is my seat. Putting the kerchief. Otherwise, you don't have seat. Siddharama comes in, come on, get out. Because women. That's why I was thinking of this, starting the movement called as the International Men's Day, not Women's Day. Particularly in Karnataka, we are the losers. So essentially what happens is that this Ishavasyamidam Sarvam, everything belongs to God. See, actually your whole ego brought down with that particular one state. And when the ego coming down, I can give much more concrete example in the Western world. They thought that, how the ego was built in the modern Western world is that God created human being like in his image. That's why God is like human being. His image. It's arrogance. Then what happened? Church wanted to have a control. So the church made a little twist to that, saying that he may be God's image, but he's born out of sin. So that what happens, you are always condemned into guilt. But somebody has to save you. Oh, we are here to save. See, what a politics it is. So we are here to save. This is another. When this was going on, struggle between these two, suddenly a scientist comes in between and he pulled it down fully. You are not born out of God, not even the same, but you are born out of a monkey. That's what is the theory of evolution that this, fellow gave it. Darwin has given us. Finished in one stroke. You said your grandfather, great-grandfather is a monkey. Not even close to that. But even that's not sufficient. Further scientists pull you down, further down. Further experiment they did it. And they said that, the close to human beings, when we want to do this, we can't do the studies on human beings because otherwise it is against law. So something which is close to human being, we do the study. What is that? Guinea pig. Then what are you? You are equated to pig. Not even monkey. Wow, where are you? Then physicists came that no, nothing exists, it's only nothing but matter is nothing but energy. So there is no life at all in that. So that means kill the human being completely. Completely. There is not even life there. Where is life? They ask this question, what is life? It's all nothing, play of some chromosomes, cross layer, this thing, that thing. Otherwise, there is no life. See, what is the way that they have killed the king? Here, what happens is that you are nobody. This is what is modern science made you to look. You are worse than matter. Worse than matter. Whereas at least Indian philosophy, is it also condemned that way, Ishavasyamidam Sarva? No, there is one subtle meaning behind it. That is avasyam. That means to say it is the divinity which stays in everything. You can't say that it is mine, but the divinity. Now it's up to you to identify the divinity. That means you are the God. Okay? What an elevation it is given. They have eliminated I, like the way Western world also eliminated I. But Western world eliminated I to make you as a matter, as an energy, lifeless. Whereas Indian system eliminated I to make you God. Ishavasya. Yes, everything is nothing but God. You can't claim it as yours because basically that you are no separate entity at all. It's like the way my hand starts saying it is mine. There is no separate entity for my hand. It's part of me. How can the hand say that it's mine just because I'm holding the pen? It is mine. No, I made you to hold that pen and using it. So that's why somebody else is using me. I'm his hand. I'm his influence. That it gives us two advantages. One is you don't have any separate entity, but at the same time, you can't stop doing it. That's what he brought about the second sutra. Kurvaneha karmani shijijetsam shatagam sapa. For 100 years, you do it. And he said because he talked about one life. Otherwise, life after life after life, you do the work. Why? How you do it? You do it the work because that you are the instrument in the hands of God. Outside, you are never outside. It gives such a wonderful protection. Not only wonderful protection, it gives you protection that way. Even if you are eliminated in this life, doesn't matter, you will come back in the next life. Continue with the same thing. Where have you gone? You're not gone anywhere. You are in this only. You can't go out anywhere. It's a very positive way of looking at the whole thing. When you look at that, then only Ishavasya makes a sense. Ishavasyamidam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bundita tyaga bhava. What is that tyaga bhava? And then it says that it's not mine, but it is that I need to do the activity. This is what is tyaga bhava. Bundita, palayata. This bundita word is so extraordinary, saying that so it's not my work, it is somebody else's work. So I do it naam ke vaste, just for the sake of the fact of doing it? No. Punjika, that means to say fully involved, completely identified with that you do the work, but don't get, it's not your work. Work you do it 100%. See, that's what the servant does every activity in the house as if it is my own house. In my house, I have to clean it. In my house, I do all those things. And when you do all those things, then the lady of the house should appreciate how you did a great job. I feel so nice. Amma, why do you appreciate me? This is my house only. All that. But she knows very well her house is there somewhere else. See, what is a beautiful feeling that is there? That means you own everything, but at the same time, you don't become like a master of that. You never become a master, but you do the activity. Yes, Padmavataram. So that's what you do it. But then so total passion is there in that. Look at the way that any work that people do it, any temple you go, any activity that you see the people, how that they are doing, looks like they're so totally involved. They are doing that work. But again, that work is flowing, they come and joined, and then the thing goes on. They know very well that it doesn't belong to them, but then they have to do it. That's why Ramakrishna Paramahamsa said very beautifully, or in Bhagavad Gita it is said that the river is flowing, good is flowing, bad is also flowing. It's your choice to become either part of the good river or the bad. You are not doing good, you're not doing bad. You become the part of the river which is flowing. Then the responsibility doesn't live upon. So this is what is the way Tyaga Bhava is deep inside, it's not in the world outside. And everywhere it is like that in the nature. As I said, like the way nature has dana, the same way nature has this Tyaga. That's what is the yajna that's going on in the nature. Look at this seed gives up itself. Seed does not know what's happening now. What is next? But the seed gives itself up so that it becomes a tree. If it gives up only, it becomes tree. If you have that Tyaga Bhava, then only tree comes up. Otherwise, tree will not come up. Similarly, a flower has to give itself up so that a fruit comes. Tyaga Bhava is there. So when you look at whole nature, it is actually giving up, means basically it is evolving, changing the pattern, changing the whole thing, and then become new. That means you are not holding on to anything. You know, I was yeah, owning. Ego of owning. We have to give up the ego of ownership. Ego of ownership. And that's in the second sutra, it comes in Ishavasya very explicitly. Man, that performance is very good. I'll just touch upon that and then go. And an example I will tell next time because it's already 6:10 now. So, then what is the next one he says is Tena tyaktena bunjita magrita kasya svidhanam. There also there is another. See, don't steal others' wealth. Now the question is that when it is not the way that it is your wealth, Ishavasya, how can it be somebody else's wealth? Even that's also not there. But then what happens with us is that very easily we can say it is not mine, but it is somebody else's. So I should not steal somebody else's. Take somebody else's, I should not do. This feeling is there. Why do we have that feeling? When we say that my wealth is not my wealth, but somebody else's wealth, why do we say that? Why did we say that? Because it has not sunk into you. Why did it not sink into you? Because the simple thing is, though wealth I don't identify with that, I gave it up. But at the same time, all that I can give it up, but it's very difficult to give up the idea that I'm a great person, I'm a good person, I'm a nice person. If I take somebody else's wealth, they feel that this fellow is a thief. I don't want to get the bag. You see, that name identification is much more stronger than the material identification. That's why you say that name identification is something we need to get. That is something which holds on to us very strong. So I don't want to take somebody else's wealth. I don't want to spoil somebody else's property because they might feel that I'm bad. I'm a horrible guy. What is this? He talks about Vedanta and all that, but he does that kind of a behavior. See what will happen to my paru, my pratishtha, my popularity, my this. See, those things become, you see, one is the gross possessions. The second thing is the subtle possession. Even subtle possession should not be. It's not somebody else. But then why do we do it? This is where basically the original Taitra Upanishad mantra will become important. That is, food belongs to hunger. Hunger. That's why Annavan, Annado, Bhavati. The first division has taken place between food and hunger. If I'm hungry, I'll have food. There is nothing else. If I take anything, yes, I take the food because I'm hungry. It's not that I'm taking the food, hunger is taking that food. If you have that bhavana, then there's no question of, then that is also part of this Tyaga Bhava. Neither food you are, nor hunger you are. They belong to that. The second sutra is, Kurvaneveha karmani, jijivishe, givitamiche, means passionately. Shatagum samaha. For 100 years you do. 100 years because that you life expectancy is 100 years. How do we do that? Only way that you can do it is, and he says that don't get the the smoke touches you, the blackness touches you. You see, you are going to a tunnel which is black, and then naturally black touches me. You are being in this world, the world touches you. Don't get touched with it. That's what he said, Padmapatra Mimamasa. How can you do that? Because Padmapatra can do it, but we can't do that. How to do that? The only way that we can do it is that you make it as it's like a leela. It's like a play. In the play that it doesn't touch you. Like for example, Ram Leela play going on. The character doesn't touch the person. The person is free from that. Today he plays Rama, tomorrow he plays Rama. It's okay. Neither he becomes Rama, nor he becomes Ram. Are we not playing the role here? This role play is that what we are doing it. We are behind this role play. We are always behind this role play. We play all these roles. The roles that we play is the one which we have aropita, which we have opened, which we have accepted. As the man is something who is background. He is at the back. His husband is an aropita. It's a role that he has adapted. He is not husband. That's why I say that when did you get married? 20 years ago. So 20 years ago, husband is born, wife is also born. Before that, they were not husband and wife. Before that, there was a man and a woman. But husband and wife, they came 20 years ago. Now they divorced. Again became man and woman. Finished. Is a question of them? No, as a husband, I was suffering. I said that you are not a husband, you are a man. So that husband is suffering. Which husband is not suffering? It's a common name. Doesn't belong to you. So, Tyaga Bhavena. Do it that way. So there are a lot of ideas about this Tyaga to show that, yeah, identified with the Lord, the Dharma. Now I'll show you how this Tyaga has been adapted extraordinary level in our scriptures, in our Purana. Our people have done that. That's what we need to look into it. We'll stop it here. Continue with the subject of Tyaga next time. Yes.
Dana, I guess, you are giving, but you are not giving. So that's not.
Right.
The feelings is very-
All how so we'll come to all those things. See, that's why I told you no Dharma. We'll come to that. We'll come to that. See, when we try to understand, you see that how complicated, how intricate it becomes. That's extraordinary. This knowledge.
Because that's the most- Yeah, okay, Dana, I have it.
See, they are called Asura. Surya is not there. That means to say, sun gives the light. The clarity is not there. They are confused. That's why they are called as Asuras. In short, it comes in the Upanishad also. Asurya namate lokalokaha andhena tamasavruta. Tamas avruta andhena. This is what is Surya not being there. That's what. And Danava is that one, the Daiva Guna, opposite to Daiva Guna is Danava Guna. That means, Daiva Guna is, I help you so that I get joy. I help you so that I get joy. But Danava Guna is, I trouble you so that I get joy. I make you suffer, I get joy. Sadistic pleasure, what you call it. These are the two things that are there. So Danava quality is that he desires pleasure out of somebody else's suffering. That's what is Danava Guna. Otherwise, he is also knowledgeable, he is also everything is there. But only thing that he has is the property that somebody else is suffering, he gets the benefit out of it, he gets the joy out of it. That is what is the guna of Dharma. And Krishna also gives very simple idea saying that Dhanava is that which binds. And Daiva guna is that which gives you freedom. Daivi sampat vimokshaya, nibadhaya asuri sampat. And nibadhaya because that you don't have clarity. Yes, there is no light. That's why it binds. Nibadhaya asuri sampat. He gives a very direct definition. But he gives the example from the level of moksha. Now, actually, this moksha also, I'll go later on, much later actually, now also it doesn't come. I'll come to that moksha, but its simple thing is, moha kshaya is moksha. Simple thing. Moha not being there. Until that time, moha will be there. They have to come out of it. See, Rakshasa, that means somebody who is Raksha, opposite to that. Opposite to Raksha. He doesn't protect you. On the other hand, he eliminates you, he gives you trouble to you. You see, that actually this they're all, they're actually Rakshasa is given to a particular clan. So the clan is Rakshasa. But later on also, that when Chandragupta, his minister was Rakshasa Amatya, Amatya Rakshasa, is also from that clan. So it's not an individual when you take it. That's the reason why Ravana was like that. Vibhishana was different. And in fact, many people didn't know even that Kumbhakarna was like that, like Vibhishana. Kumbhakarna was more like Vibhishana rather than like Ravana. Some more people don't know about that Kumbhakarna. He didn't want this fight to happen. He told, see, when my brother Kumbhakarna told, you should have listened. When my brother Vibhishana told, you could have listened to it. Why did you continue? He scolds Ravan for that. That means he was not like Ravan. He was like Vibhishana. Kumbhakarna is very smart that way. Yeah. You have any question?
Sir, I have a question.
One second.
So,
Ah,
right in the beginning, you were mentioning about
hmm.
Ashwatthama's death and then Drona believing it was his son.
Hmm.
Was Drona not aware that Ashwatthama was a Chiranjeevi?
Yeah, you see, his question is that in the beginning I said that Drona, he took that Ashwatthama is death, but does he not know that Ashwatthama is a Chiranjeevi? The Putra Moha will make you not to see that. That is the reason why he in that hurry, he did not realize that Ashwatthama is Chiranjeevi.
And he trusted Yudhishthira.
And he just, so much of Yudhishthira's point was there for him that he trusted. That's why when we are in anxiety, we are in a hurry. We take the wrong decision.
But when you tell about Socrates' story, which I always remember, you always say, no?
The story of Socrates. Yeah. See, Socrates was given a poison. And not only that, the court says he should suffer the dying. He should suffer the death. And the poison is given, special poison called as hemlock, so that slowly kills him. Slowly he takes poison and slowly he is reporting, you see, my hands are becoming blue, my legs are becoming blue, so I am dying. Then the disciple asked Socrates, you are dying, are you not worried? Socrates said, I've taken poison, poison must kill me. That means this is a physical law, physical reality. But then to worry or not to worry is my freedom. No court can say that I should suffer. Suffering or not suffering is my freedom. That's what is the separation that he did. Extraordinary separation. Hmm?
So that means he was out of moha.
Out of moha. The moha with the body is not there anymore. Moha with the body. I am the body, moha is not there. Done. Yes, sir.
So this Lakshmana also is a sign of, is an example of dana, because he really, his life was all about
Giving.
to-
Yes, there are more than the example of Dana. I have taken Lakshmana. There's another thing that is what is completely surrendered to his brother. Rama's service, I have to go. That's what Sumitra says. You are always shadowing Rama so that you take care of Rama.
So that
And then he
point,
gave
the
up
role of
himself.
husband was not important. is it?
Yeah, yeah. So, all these things, these are called as Dharma Sandigdha. See, that is where one dharma clashes with the other dharma. Which dharma to be followed? Why dharma is better than this dharma? All these things were there. So when we look at all these aspects of dharma, then at the end of it, we come to the point of two dharmas clash. Which dharma to be taken up, which dharma to be given up. Lakshmana has taken up one dharma, whereas Bharata has taken up a different dharma. So what is right, what is wrong? So all these things come up into the picture. These are the things which are the riddles in dharma.
What is the differentiation between then Lakshmana and Hanuman?
So who is this asking question? Your name?
Annapurna.
Oh, Annapurna is asking a question that what is the difference between Lakshmana and Hanuman? See, look at the way Lakshmana was there right from the birth of the Rama. Whereas Hanuman's role is only for 1 year in the last this thing, Jatavasa, Aranyavasa. So naturally, what happens is
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ತಗೊಳ್ಳ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋಲ್ಲ
that
ಯಾಕೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ
in
ಜಾಸ್ತಿ
that
ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಿಷ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಬೇರೆನ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ
Hanuman developed that
ಬೇರೆನ
kind
ತಂದ್ಕೊಡು
It is disturbing.
ಇಲ್ಲ
Rama,
ತಂದ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾನೆ ನೀವು
that
ಒಬ್ರೆ ನನಗೂ ಅನಿಸ್ತು
near to Rama,
ಹಾಕಿದ್ರು
closer to
ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲೇ
Rama.
ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲೇ ಹಾಕಿ
So
ಬನಾನ
that's what it is.
ಬನಾನ ಇತ್ತು
Actually, there is no difference.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಮನೀಷ್ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ
One was taking
ನಿಮ್ಗೆ
care of
ಎಷ್ಟು ಬೇಕು
Rama,
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪನ
one-
ಹಾಕ್ತಾನೆ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ
one is somebody's son. But anyway, people are
ಇದಿರ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವೀಟ್ ಪೊಂಗಲ್ ಇದೆ
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ
Somebody
mute
is
ಮಾಡಿ.
talking, it's very
ಇದು ಕಪ್
disturbing.
ಇಡ್ತಾನೆ
Mute ಮಾಡಿ, please. Somebody is talking, or otherwise you talk loud so that I don't talk. Huh? Okay, now it's over. So essentially what happens is that the question was that what is the difference between Lakshmana and you see, one thing that we need to do is that we don't put them into hierarchy. That means better, less better. Not. They played their roles. Lakshmana played his role extraordinarily. Hanuman played his role tremendously. Each one of them played. Not only that, actually on the other side, the way that Kumbhakarna played his role is commendable. But for the Ravan, so that is the kind of a thing. So when you look at the roles that they play, whether they are pure, there were pure performance of their roles, that we need to see. We can't put them into hierarchy. This person is better than this. This is what all these things will come in the Dharma Sandigdha. That means the dichotomy of Dharma. Dharma is not something which is like hierarchical. There is nothing like this is better, less better. There is nothing like that. That's the reason why, you see, fire's dharma is to burn. Water's dharma is to wet. Which is better, which is less better? There's nothing like that. The nature they are there. So like that. You can't, this comparison is not the way that the creation is there. Therefore, we can't compare that.
Like we can't compare mothers and fathers.
Yes, the same way, the mother's role, father's role, we can't compare. Father is to play father's role, mother is to play mother's role. But then,
Comparison and competition is the only two things which are spoil the whole world.
comparison and competition, these are the two things which is not there in the God's creation,
God's creation.
and they are very special contribution of man's creation. And By that creation, no other species on this earth is suffering excepting human beings.
Yes.
We created and we suffer because of our. I think we'll stop it here. Thank you so much. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Thank you, Raghuramji.
Thank you.
Thank you, Raghuramji.
Wow, wonderful. I see all of you on the line.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, Raghuram.